Black Magic Sorcerer here with another video, and I'm hanging out with my Burmese python Zeus. And as he's getting older and much bigger and thicker, it's just amazing that I can barely get my fingers around his body now. But he's doing quite well. He's a male, and he's just a typical Burmese, like the ones you'd find in the wild. He's not a morph, but he's beautiful. He's camera shy, so I have to keep bringing him over here, but he's turned into be such a gentle and sweet pet. He loves kisses. He likes being kissed on his head. He likes when I rub his throat. He's calmed way down. He was very insecure when I first got him, and bonding with him has really helped my confidence as a snake handler, because you are kind of dealing with somewhat dangerous pets, and you have to have knowledge of their behavior to know when not to fuck with them and when you can. Like, for example, he just ate a couple days ago, so I got this towel here because, at any moment he could just take a leak and spray the hell out of the bed, but at least if you have a towel nearby or he's on it, you can intercept it. I usually wrap his tail, that way if he starts taking a whiz, it won't completely soak my bed. But other than that, this is what we do, and he has just become such a ham compared to what a demon he used to be. I'm sure you've seen videos of him striking, and when he was a baby, when we first got him, he was pretty insecure, but now he's spoiled. He gets incredible snake meals, and he gets to eat a nice big chicken every week, so he's got nothing to complain about. And he's got a master who loves to be hands-on with his snakes. So from a Reiki point of view, I've always felt like bonding with a pet is a great way to learn how to send energy. And if you start working on animals like dogs, cats, snakes, sending them your Reiki, you'll actually notice at some point that they'll tell you when they have had enough, especially cats. If you give cats Reiki, they'll let you know, okay, motherfucker, I'm done. It's like, okay, it's too much energy, stop. And they'll give you a little bite or they'll run away or whatever. But cats are ones that when you give them a lot of energy, they respond and they want to take off and zoom away, get all crazy, and sometimes rambunctious and want to bite or scratch you. But having a nice, big, calm python is a nice option to having a ferocious dog or cat. I mean, the expectations from a pet snake are obviously totally different than the expectations of maybe having a Doberman Pinscher or, some sort of exotic hairless cat, I guess. But, those pets are fun. I had a cat when I was a kid. I had a dog when I was a kid. They were both wonderful. But after I had them and kind of went through what you normally go through with pets, where they die by natural causes, and you got to deal with that whole aspect of losing a pet at some point. But it's the good thing about these reptiles is they do supposedly live for over 20 years if you take really good care of them. But I thought this is a good point to show him as a juvenile. He's now over 2 years. I think he's about 2.5, 3 years actually. He might be 2 years and 6 months or something like that. But he has grown great on a minimal diet. Only thing that worries me about him is he hardly ever sheds and he hardly ever takes a dump. It's like he's the cleanest snake. I almost think that he has something wrong with him. I have to take him to the vet because, I'll feed him 2 or 3 times before he takes a dump and not much comes out. So I don't know what's going on. Hope he's not constipated. So anyway, Black Magic Sorcerer, just catching up with you guys. I do read your comments. I've been very busy working construction-wise on my house. But I want to do more instructional videos, and I also want to do more videos for reaching out to our members here on the channel and just basically helping out those in need who have problems, who feel like going to a black magician, sorcerer, satanic, devil worshiper type magician, if that's what you're looking for. There's a lot of people on the internet who claim to be be magicians and who claim to have power, and some honestly do, and some maybe have a little power and then or delude themselves into thinking that they actually have real power. And a good sign, I think, that you're dealing with someone that's dishonest is a dishonest price. Like, if you're going to do a curse, I would say a very serious, very in-depth curse, I could not imagine charging more than a couple $100s for that if it was going to take 30 days or something. But I have read menus of other black magicians just to have a price comparison for how people are treated by black magicians. Sometimes a little unfortunate, but that's the nature of the beast. We're talking $5,000 or $6,000 to do a spell. And this is assuming you want a death spell, or a major seduction spell, or break up a marriage spell, stuff that's really serious that really does take time for the magician to manifest. So if it takes you 3 weeks to manifest a curse, that means you have to work on it 24/7, feed it energy, keep it going until the customer gets what he was looking for. So it's obviously not uncommon for people to want to be charging for their time. What is uncommon is for someone to ask for your thousands of dollars for something that they can't prove they can do, especially in magic. Now, if there are people out there that have that power, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're making the money you're making. If you're really, truly fulfilling all those requests and carrying out that much magic to help people, I think that's great. You deserve whatever you think you should charge for your magic. But my whole point of making this video is that I want to extend my services to some free services that I'll do for just about anyone. And then maybe if it's something very serious, we'll talk about a price. But at the moment, one of the things that I did promise the spirits in my pantheon would be that I would use magic to help others. So I'm reaching out to say, if you guys have anything going on in your life or something that you would like me to touch upon, or you think there's something that needs improvement, I can give you advice and I can tell you what I can do to help remedy the situation. And I love it because I love hearing feedback from people, the people that I have helped, and with the help of other black magicians, to find missing people, heal people, you name it. We've done a lot of stuff in the community, just magic-wise, more than people would know, to help other people. And that's what really being a healer and a Reiki master, and that's what I think magic's true purpose is. You can only serve yourself so long. Once you have everything you need, then you can use your time and your magic to help people who deserve it, not just someone who's looking for a cheap shortcut to their desires, but someone who understands that what they're asking of you is very serious. Like I said before, I would never do something like a love spell for someone because a love spell can easily be done by yourself. I would rather tell you how to do it, instruct you on how to do that particular curse or spell, and then have you report back to me about the results you got from when you did the ritual. The master and apprentice scenario is great, because then you're teaching magic and you're also teaching someone something valuable. Instead of paying for me to do a spell, how about I teach you how to do the spell, and then you take that spell and use it over and over to enrich yourself, to make your life better. So those are the kind of things I've been thinking about, just kind of clear my mind and thinking about what I want to do with YouTube. I know I'm not at 2,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers yet, but we're getting close, and I want to thank everybody who's been participating actively. Just boy, it's so hard to find time nowadays when you're busy working and you have projects going on. How it's just so hard to find time to make a meaningful video. I started this channel purely just because I wanted to kind of document what's going on in my life over time and kind of have like a living diary where I would just highlight different things that I do in my life. You know, fucking with my guitars, playing with my pets, philosophizing and contemplating, you know, whether magic really exists, whether these demons and angels are real or just constructs of the mind, and going through years and years of just basically proving to yourself over and over that magic does work because you have your own methods, and by those methods you can make things happen, and you don't necessarily need books anymore. You don't necessarily need an entire room full of potions, herbs. What you really kind of figure out in the long run with magic is that you are God. You do have amazing, intense power over this realm you're in, and you can affect the other realms too with your spirit. So you alone can do some of the most powerful magic, just as powerful as any demon or angel. But there is something to be said for evoking these provocative forces to do your bidding. There is something seductive about it, and there's also something very fulfilling about it. Once you've been touched by magic, so to speak, initiated into Reiki, had a supernatural haunting experience through your childhood, whatever it was that turned you to magic, it was meant to turn you to magic. It's like those who are super in love with church and really want to find Jesus, and you know that's their passion. There's something that led them to want to be like that. And you know, you can't blame people for wanting to just follow their heart. My heart says ask questions, be a skeptic, don't be stupid, use your head, don't delude yourself, be brutal on yourself, train, have discipline, have morals, but don't be suicidally empathetic for people who don't deserve it. One of the big problems we have in our world is that we have a lot of people who are happy to go out, do a job, come home, go to work. But you have these people who want to go around and, like the morality police, tell you what you should believe, how you should feel, that you should get involved in this issue, you should be mad about this issue. No, you don't. Just because someone invites you to the party doesn't mean you got to go. And I find myself, as I've gotten older, just moving away from people, moving away from situations where I know I won't be comfortable, and not putting myself out there as much when it comes to making new friends or, trying to forge anew to find new customers for my business or something. I really have become much, much, much more reclusive over the last couple of years, and I have to say I've enjoyed going deep. But with going deep, you run the risk of, when you cross the abyss, sometimes you'll get out of the abyss and there's something attached to you, and then that attachment stays with you, and that attachment is a serious attachment, and it's haunting. It can be scary. Magic can be wonderful and fulfilling, but it can also be a very dark thing if you don't get control of your energy system and protect yourself. Magical self-defense is something you should all read up on. You should all understand that before you work with any spiritual entity, even if it's an angel, you should have some sort of spiritual protection up. And, that looks different for everyone, but you've got to know that. You've got to always work on protecting yourself first, and you got to do it all the time. It's like maintenance. And if you want people to come down with a feeling of dread right before they're about to break into your house, magic can do that. They can make it so when someone jumps the fence that they want to jump right back over that fence because they feel something horrifying. You can make wild animals attack people with magic. You can make a fucking dog that would normally be nice attack their owner. I had a boss who was hurting some people then in a very cruel way and abusing his power. Years ago, at a place I used to work, and I gave him a full blast of what I would call revenge magic. And you know what? It changed him. He was humbled. He was humbled because he was attacked by his pit bull and it almost bit his fucking arm off. So sometimes a little tragedy in an asshole's life is what they need to come back to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And that's what black magicians do, is we take advantage of the forces of nature to set things straight. It's not about causing chaos or being evil. It's just about balance. You know, everything in life has to have some sort of balance. You cannot constantly be working with dark and evil spirits and not think that's going to affect your energy system. You're very stupid if you think that working with spirits is something to take lightly. You know, it's safe to say we all have spirits around us. We all, in a way, we work with spirits. But when a magician deliberately calls up and is working directly with a spirit, that's a whole other can of wax, my friends. And for those of us who are true, for those of you who I know love this art and have taken it to a level that you probably didn't realize you were going to take it to, I'm really proud of you, and I'm really always happy when I meet people that have been into this for 20, 30 years, 40 years even, or more, their whole lives, and they never once turned back. They chose magic, or magic chose them, but whatever it is, they stuck with it. And that's why magicians don't have a lot of heroes. You know, we have Aleister Crowley, we have LaVey, we have Levi, we have Mathers, we have a lot of talented black magicians, like my beautiful friend Carolyn and my good friend Carrie, who is so talented and so powerful and such a great healer, so wonderful with animals, and just such a rare, honest human being. That's why I like people that practice magic, because they're very real people, and they seem to really care a lot about the people around them. And sometimes that can be misinterpreted as going a little too far. But when people hurt your loved ones, magicians have the ability to go and hurt the people that do that. So obviously we're going to take advantage of that. Just a little rant today, friends. I'm showing off this big snake as he's getting older. Zeus, the Burmese python. And dark blessings.